Hello there, gorgeous, beautiful souls and humans. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our new moon in Libra solar eclipse energy update and oracle reading. For those of you new to me, I am RozyGlow Hannis. I'm a channel of divine grace, and I'm here to seed star peace. I'm on a mission, as so many people are saying, to co-create a new reality here on Earth, Paradise Earth, and you are here co-creating it with me. Every one of you who watches these videos, every one of you who subscribes to my YouTube channel, thank you very much for doing that, who likes, comments, loves, shares, you're all contributing to a whole new reality. And in case you didn't get the memo yet, back in 2020, I received the message on the 31st of October, which is fast looming, that in our universe, the light had actually won. Star Wars is over. It's time for star peace. And we are here to co-create that reality. But how do we do it? Because it looks very different on the surface, doesn't it? It looks like there's more and more wars. It looks like there's more and more civil unrest. It looks like there's more and more trial, tribulation, struggle. What's that all about? Well, this is the energy that we're in, and it very much relates to this new moon in Libra solar eclipse energy, because it's a purging that's necessary. And it's also a beautiful reflection of where our focus is. Because if we want to create peace in this world, what do we need to do? We need to create peace in our own hearts first, in our own energy frequency, in our own personal lives. And most of us who have this inbuilt GPS to support the ascension of humanity, maybe we're still under the illusion that we're here to help save the world. By the way, it doesn't need saving, are so busy looking outwardly at the state of affairs in the collective that we're forgetting that that's the illusion. And actually, we can't get our information from there. We have to look inwards and really choose what we want to align with. And what I'm so excited about with this particular new moon is the invitation we have to upgrade our inner masculine and inner feminine. Now, I was awake last night. It was actually about 5 a.m. in the UK, and I got this download around how we're going to be working with the full moon, which will be the full moon co-creation meditation, which I offer once a month. That'll be in 2 Wednesdays' time, so mark your diaries. I believe that makes it the 25th of October. Yeah, correct. And basically, what we're going to be doing is working with the sort of most toxic element of our inner masculine and feminine, and also the most sort of exalted, the part of us that we want to embody, our highest version, whatever we can conceive of as our masculine and feminine. So this is really about us working with the energy of the full moon in Taurus to co-create a sense of deep security. Yeah, deep security within, something that most of us who are challenged to have a sense of fulfillment in our lives did not experience as children from our own parents. And our parents and our kind of connection to them very much represents our connection to source, to the divine, to the connection to an infinite flow of support in our lives. So, you know, I'm going deep right now, so I'm going to pull back a little bit, but these are all the flavors that are here for us. So we're going to get into a little energy update now, and we're going to get into an oracle reading and a little bit of a light language transmission just to set the scene. So for those of you who like to work with the idea of new chapters in your life story and in the collective narrative of humanity, you can really see that this new moon energy is heralding a huge shift for us all. There's an invitation to trust fated events, the things that happen that you didn't plan, that what's coming through is basically allowing yourself to be pleasantly surprised and actually making a decision that no matter what comes around, whether it's something that you initially feel turned off about or turned on about, you really allow yourself to recognize that everything is happening to support your highest intentions. Now, there may be some conflict in you, as is represented by your inner toxic and inner resolved feminine and masculine, in terms of your kind of egoic human desires and your soul desires. And so for us to really follow this path of co-creating a paradise earth, we're not going to do that from our limited, conditioned, egoic self. We're going to do that by integrating the wounded aspects of our being, which Chiron is really giving us an opportunity to do in terms of the current energies, and to allow ourselves to evolve, to let go of trying to hold on to old wants, and actually to say, what am I a yes for now? So I'm going to do a little tuning in, and then I'm going to basically share with you what's been coming through, and I invite you just to make some notes. I invite you to use your journal just to notice the insights and write down the questions I ask you, because this is all going to be really, really useful for you as we come into doing the work with the full moon. So for me, new moons are very much about planting the seed, and then the full moon is about doing the work that will allow us to clear resistance, and as a result of that, to then see some manifest things occurring. So those of you who are here, please do say hello. I can see Anne's here, which is lovely. I think my husband's here as well, which is gorgeous. If you have any questions, I'm going to keep an eye on the comments. Let's just do a little tuning in. Okay, so if you start by having a little rub of your hands and then stretch your arms, just open yourself up, make a little circle with your wrists, go the other way. And then bring your hands just to rest at your heart center. So as you press your hands together, this is indicative of your decision, your choice to allow all conflicting parts of your being to come into harmony. So just for a moment, receive your breath. Just for a moment, relax your face. Let go of all of those thoughts, all of those preoccupations that are sending you on spirals of doom rather than spirals of joy. And as you welcome your breath, remember that your breath is your connection to source, all that is, and your human self. So now with your nose, draw a circle in the air in front of you to create a container for all that we shift today, just through bringing awareness to what's going on. Then go the other way. And now draw your nose down and up. Choosing to be a conduit of source energy. Inhaling now, chin neutral. Exhale, turn your head to the left and just release, release, release your attachment to the previous versions of you. The events that take you into any form of contraction. And then inhale, center, and now exhale, turn your head to the right, and let's send our breath into the future, inviting the version of us that is having the most graceful, easy, and enjoyable experience of sharing our gifts with this world to step forward. And we're inviting this part of us to come and overlay into us now. So bring your head neutral now, chin forward. Exhale, drop your chin to your heart, and consciously step into your sphere. And now symbolically open the palms of your hands. So you're opening up a new chapter. You've got the outside edge of your little fingers and palms pressing together. And now letting the light of your soul, your source self, your higher self shine upon these pages, the new chapter of your book. The chapter where you create more joy, more peace, more grace, more ease in your life. Where you undo the resistance to what you truly desire, knowing that as you focus on yourself, your wants, your needs, your longings, and create more harmony within you. This is your gift to the world. This is your gift to raising the vibration of humanity. Then you can take inspired action. Then you can follow through in the physical reality and do what is needed to help manifest that which you're co-creating. And so as we do this, we welcome our guides and teachers of the purest vibrations of love and light into our sphere. Step into yourself now as your highest self. Expand your sphere of compassion, that sphere we created with the nose. How much bigger do you need it to be? Do you want it to be? To allow yourself to have the reach that you desire. How big a reach do you want to have? Just let yourself stretch your sphere. You want to feel safe. We're expanding into the biggest version of ourselves we can be right now. Calling in our star families, soul families, guides, teachers of the purest vibrations of love and light, the ascended masters that work through us. Our angels, archangels, and all the beautiful elementals, the nature spirits, all the beings of this earthly reality that are in the ethers, supporting us to make manifest that which we desire, to bring our focus to it. Oh, I can feel them now. They're all here. Yay. And our ancestors are here. to just saying, come on then, let's clear this karma drama. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Just gently release your hands, open them up. And gently bring yourself back. Hello, lovely to see you. And good to hear. Oh, I've got 3 comments. So let's just see what's going on there. I've got Kate, hello, gorgeous. And Jen and Beth, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so before I forget, we have been putting a little poll out on all of our socials for basically an event that I'm intending to share with you next week. Now, you might not know that I am a multidimensional coach. I work with the coaches that are coaching others. I work with the leaders of leaders. I work with those of you who are here co-creating a new reality. And in the star piece construct, there are the energizers, who are those who kind of put their focus, they share, they kind of magnify things that we want to create more of in our world. We've got the builders, who are essentially the therapists, the coaches, the way showers, the teachers, you know, those of us who are here helping others to overcome their early life trauma, early life conditioning, all of the different ways that we stay stuck. So those of us who are here in some kind of healing modality, therapizing modality, mentoring, coaching modality, these are the builders. And I've been in this sphere for a very, very long time. This has been the area that I've been focused on, and that's where I've created my courses from. And then we also have the architects, and the architects are the visionaries. The architects are those who are holding the frequency of the new world, okay? And this takes tremendous discipline to take your focus off what seems to be happening now, what we're told is happening now, and to actually hold the frequency of what you seek to manifest. So that energy of being in the solution rather than the problem is what the architects do. And it is my remit now. My soul mission has shifted since I received the Star Peace Manifesto and I received the Sovereignty Prayer and the new mission, should I choose to accept it, to work with the architects and to really focus my attention there. So I am going to be retiring from coaching. That's the highlight at this point in time. And what I'm going to be doing is focusing my energy more on the teacher training aspect of my coaching programs. So there are those that have already been through it, that have either already started training with me or will be starting to train with me in January. But any of you who are new to my work, to Fearless, Loved Up and Limitless, Liberation from Limitation, for example, that are both my signature coaching programs, this is your last invite. If you would like me to coach you in the deep way that I've been coaching for years, and now I train others to do this deep form of coaching, multidimensional coaching, this is my final call, if you like, inviting you to join me this side of the new year to actually partake in a year-long foundation level program, which is going to allow you then, if you decide to do the practitioner training, to do it. You don't need to, you know, once you've done the year-long program with me, you'll be able to take that into whatever modality you are already working within and implement from the perspective of your understanding the tools that I have showed you to work with and the processes and the star maps that have come directly through me through this birthing of Star Peace. But then if you do want to go onto the practitioner level, that's the second year. I don't know how anyone can go straight into training without having actually embodied first the practices. So I am very thorough as a teacher and as a coach, and I truly do believe in the value of doing things deeply, taking time to integrate. If you've heard John Assaraf talk, you know, the latest neuroscientific research says that it takes between 66 and 365 days to embed a new way of being, to really embed those new neuro pathways. And I'm a stickler for doing things thoroughly. Thanks, Mum. She taught me that. So if you would like to know more about this, please do make sure you book a desire mapping call. I've got about 6 spaces to start with me before Christmas, and you can start in October or November, or you can pay to start in January. That's the option. Okay. And for those of you who do actually decide to sign up, so booking a call and decide to sign up to join me in the program before the new year, you'll get a 2K discount for the year. And there are other options too I'll talk to you about. And for anyone who pays in full, you're going to also get access to my early imprints, which is the pre-birth influences training that I do. Now, this is usually a 22K month-long container that I do one-to-one with people, right? So, you know, even when I do it in a group context, it's 6.6K. I'm creating a version of it that I can do with you, which is akin to a good, deep, thorough healing with me, which if you go to my Rosanna Hannis website, you'll see my prices there. So there's some really good bonuses coming ahead for you if you would like to take the plunge now and be resourceful about how you're going to participate. And next year, you're going to have the lovely Kate Coulson as lead head coach. So you know, I'm really excited that we're going to be able to offer our courses in different ways. But for those who are feeling this call, now is your time, beautiful ones. I ain't going to bung this drum much longer. That's my announcement. And next week, as I said, we're going to offer a free event just to give you a sense of what you're being invited into and to give you a sense of what is possible. So that's that. Now let's get talking. Franzi's here, Troy's here, Danny, awesome, awesome. Hello, husband. I love you. I'm so glad you're here too. What is in the offing? Right. So I wanted to talk about twin flames today. I also wanted to talk about how we can perceive the fact that those who are really on this path of speaking how important twin flames are in the co-creation of our new reality are both right and wrong. Now, thanks to my teacher, Susanna Kennedy, I got a really great perspective on twin flames that has allowed me to just relax, because you don't know how many spiritual teachers I know that they have the same issue all of us as humans do. We get stuck in our heads. We get stuck in what this means and that means. And before you know it, you're in the future or you're in the past. You're not in the power of now. Success in terms of shifting our vibrational frequency comes from being in the present moment. All your energy, your thought forms, your emotions, your physical being, your spirit are all in this now moment here. That's why physical practices are so important. And it's why I offer my online multidimensional yoga live twice a week. So if you haven't yet joined me on that adventure, head to RozyGlow.com, look at the yoga tab, come and join us. Okay, come and experience it. You can do a trial class, or you can actually join us monthly. You get a backlog of the whole library of yoga classes. You can do 3 sessions a day if you want. You won't run out. I don't want you to do that much, but more than anything, what I do is I connect people to their soul and earth chakras, their divine architecture. And this is the starting point for creating safety in the body. Okay, so remember, physical practice is very, very important. And how does this relate to what I was saying about twin flames? So most of us are on this planet thinking that we have to find our twin flame. You know, there's this inbuilt GPS. I know I felt it my whole life. I felt that there was this one other that I was meant to be with, and I wasn't prepared to settle for less. Now, here's what my beautiful teacher taught me. She said to me that our twin flames never actually fully incarnate. They never physically incarnate as one physical human. But what they do is their spirit, their soul energy overlays into whoever is the most suitable human at the time, the best vibrational match for whatever level you are at in your consciousness, integrated or wounded, to be able to then actually resolve more of your wounding so that you can then have a healthier and a happier relationship with your significant other. Now, that might mean then that a relationship that you're in might end, and that person is not the person you continue your journey with. It might mean that as you grow and evolve, they shift in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine, and actually you can have a deepening of your relationship that really does feel beautiful and so integrated. Or they step away and someone else comes in. And that's why also when our partners maybe leave their physical bodies ahead of us and we've really felt that deep, strong soul connection, I really do believe they can come back in the form of another, that deep, loving, nurturing twin flame love. Now, the 144,000 are talked about as, if you like, the prototypes of the divine humans that were originally seeded here on this planet and paradise Earth that once was. And yes, we are being called to come back together again. We are being called to evolve our relationship programming to sacred union once again. I'm going to say that again. We are being called to evolve our sacred union programming. To evolve our relationship programming to sacred union programming once again. So what does that mean? Instead of looking outwards to try and find your twin flame, they're going to find you. But what you want to do is do the inner work to create as resolved an inner masculine and feminine as possible within you. That means to overcome those early, the early wounds from the mother and the father that have made you feel either you're unlovable, you're not deserving of love, you're not worthy of love, you want too much, you want too little, you have to work harder, you have to do this, you have to put, others first. All that stuff has to be collapsed. And that's why this new moon and the solar eclipse and the full moon that's coming are so, so potent. Okay, so it's very exciting. So I'll go into a little reading in a second about that, but what I want to do is to infuse you all with not just hope, but that sense of certainty that it is inevitable If you do the inner work and you let yourself trust, it is not a question of if, but it's when this beautiful soul comes into your life, this beautiful human embodied, then this is going to allow you to relax, to do what you need to do to raise your frequency, to create the conditions where you can receive this being. And I remember before my gorgeous husband came into my life, before I was with him, because I met him years before we actually got together, and there was a deep longing, but it wasn't appropriate to be able to activate it at the time. I used to play the game. What if I just imagined he wasn't around right now? What if he's on a trip somewhere? What if he's just had to go to help his family out, or he's on holiday with his friends? And I just act as if. What does that feel like? Act as if I already have the love that I want. Because the truth is you do. It's a vibrational frequency inside of you. So in order for us to help to co-create this in our reality, we want to, one, become aware of the worst version of our inner masculine and feminine, as in the part of us that is still seeking our love and approval, the part of us that we haven't accepted, that we continue to reject, abandon, and not own. And we also want to meet this highest level. So I'm going to be playing with that with the full moon in a couple of weeks' time. Let's see how much time I've got today to go into that, but I've got a few questions to ask you so that you can write them down, and then you can work with this before we continue. And I'd love you to know that as you do this, what happens is you raise your frequency to your sacred union self, your twin flame self, so you can have the experience of having a gorgeous sacred union on this physical plane, one that truly satisfies you, one that you feel utterly fulfilled by. And I also want to caveat here that we have these ridiculous expectations about what this means. You know, yes, our partners become our best friend. They've got our back. We adore them. Do we need them to be everything to us though? No. Okay. You know I have a very grounded physical and spiritual relationship with my husband. Okay. I can be honest, upfront. Sometimes he annoys me. Sometimes I annoy him. You know, we have different education levels. We have had different experiences in life, but we're both incredibly competent. That's something we hold in common, right? And his spirituality is nature. My spirituality is doing the kind of pursuits that I do here online. Like, we're not exactly the same. We don't need to be. When I look in his eyes, I see me as my soul self reflected back. I see that love, that kindness, that strength. And this is what I really want you to take on board if you're open to it. Fall in love with you. Fall in love with you, and you will allow yourself to fall in love with another and be truly loved by another and accept their love. Okay, this is very, very important. All right, moving on. So anything else that wanted to come through on that? The cards I'm working with are Leslie Sloan's Oracle Healing cards. This lady is Leslie Sloan. She's a dear friend of mine. I adore her. I love these cards because if you look at them, they have these amazing mandalas on the back, and then these beautiful images on the front. I've been working with them for years. Yes, if you're in Europe, if you're in England, you can actually access them through my website. I can sell them to you in England. If you're in Europe or in the US, then there's a link to Leslie's site and you can do it that way, but they're really powerful. And interestingly, the crystals I have with me today are amethyst, rose quartz, and selenite. Oh, and a little bit of citrine, because the energies right now are very friggin' angry, right? There's the toxics coming up. And, you know, the way I speak to my clients about this is, what are you doing to move this energy through you? What are you doing to allow yourself to discharge the challenging emotion? I'm having to shout. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting really frustrated. I'm just going, and I'm stamping my feet and I'm shaking my body. And I'm just discharging the frustration, because guess what? Anger has a purpose. Anger allows you to actually see where you're not being honest with yourself, where you're fed up with things that you're pushing down, pretending you're okay with, right? It's so important, if you want something to change in your life, to have an honest dialogue with yourself about it. So maybe there is something in your relationship with another that needs addressing. Maybe there's something with yourself that you want to address, that you recognize you're making excuses for, and it's time to overcome. Maybe what you're noticing is that you're saying you want one thing and then your actions are completely out of resonance with that. I know I've been one to do that quite a lot, because I've been scared of the things I say I want. I've not felt like I could actually follow through, like really, you know, it's one thing to receive something, it's another thing to then be able to maintain it, right? So the beauty of our growth pattern is it's not linear. You know, we kind of expand for a bit, we stabilize, we expand a bit more, we stabilize, we expand a bit more, we stabilize. And that way we start to kind of step into the new shoes that would otherwise be far too big. We need to grow our feet into them, right? And really grow our roots down. So this is, again, an invite with these current energies, is to trust that. I think sometimes people intend to book calls with me, for example, but they're actually scared to do it because they're scared that suddenly everything's going to change and the things they've been thinking about doing start happening, and you know, they finally have the courage to make a decision, to make a change that they have been thinking about, but then they don't know how they're going to handle that change afterwards. I'm here to let you know that things don't happen like that. Yes, eclipses can sweep away that which is done, that you've been hanging on to for far too long, and you've not been making a decision, and like, bam, here you go, it's done, right? That can happen. If it does, celebrate it. But usually what happens is we are in a position where we know something needs to change, but we don't have the tools to change it. So what we do is we need to learn those tools so we feel safe in the new reality we're going to co-create. We feel safe to step into unfamiliar territory. And the things that we're scared of embracing, we then know how to deal with. We have a vision first, then we start to create the mechanisms for that vision, right? That's the key. So that's what the courses I teach are about. It's the mechanisms to take you from where you are to where you want to be. It's like creating the scaffolding around your new world. Yeah, so the scaffolding around your old world. So you're creating your new world around it so that then you can collapse the old world, but the new world is there. You've already built it. It's there, right? That's what you're going to do. It's exciting. Why wouldn't you do that? I know for me, like, I don't regret the changes I've made at all. What I regret is not trusting myself more to actually make the changes sooner, right? So, you know, this is the thing now. There are a lot of us in this world today that are, as I said, looking outwards for a way to be in this world. And we can't do that because we're here to create a new world. So it's only going to come from within. All right. So with that in mind, let's get this little reading going. I just wanted to check if there were any other notes I had for you. The retreat, my dear ones, is full. I believe, I think I believe it's full. I'm finding out today, but I've got 4 spaces for showing up for the one day on the Saturday. So for those of you who want to come along to the retreat in Kent, the Star Peace retreat, and you couldn't come for the whole weekend, if you want to come for the Saturday, and now is your chance to get in touch. Okay. So let us ask these questions. Can I ask you please to write these down, and then I'll get into the reading and we'll see what's coming through as the light language as well. So regarding your inner masculine and your inner feminine, how do they look? Ask the question. Like when you tap in, you're going to take a moment, you're going to close your eyes, you're going to ask your inner masculine to show himself to you. And you're just going to pay attention to how he's showing up. What is the image you get? Does it look like a man? Does it look like some kind of shape? Like, what is the symbol that shows up as your inner masculine? And then how does your inner feminine look? Like, this is the first look. When you project inner feminine, step forward, I want to see you. What's the first thing you see? How do you experience yourself as your inner feminine? How do you experience yourself as your inner masculine? These aspects of your being might be showing up as another member of your family or someone you know. That's okay. Just trust the first image that comes up. Secondly, how well resourced do they look? So do they look like they're sort of shabby? Do they look poor? Do they look regal? Do they look big, tall? Do they look small and scared? Like, what are you seeing here in terms of their sense of energy and resource, right? How old do they look? Do they look older or younger than you? About the same age? And how happy and fulfilled? So this is the overall. We're looking at this synergized version of your inner masculine or feminine. How happy and fulfilled do they look? Okay. Then we ask the question, what have they just mastered? What would you say they've just mastered in their lives? What is the lesson they've just mastered? They've just become proficient at? Could be a tiny thing. Could be that they don't lie to themselves anymore. Could be that they've learned to say no, or they've learned to say yes, or they've learned to look up rather than down. And what is the new lesson that they're now working on? What is the next lesson? And remember, it's going to be different for your masculine, different for your feminine. And I'd like you just to see them together for a moment as well. So you can come back to this, you can listen to the replay, you can pause it and, you know, get these little nuances when you're ready. The main thing with this is, like, are they unified when you see them? Are they unified? Are they sort of avoiding each other, looking the other way? Is one leaning into the other, but the other doesn't want to know? Like, we want to get a sense of how they're looking. What is their relationship dynamic? Okay, before we do anything else, this is that synthesized version of you. Inner masculine, inner feminine. What do they want to say to you? Is there anything they want to say? Like, have they got something they want to share with you? Is there something they're either whispering or shouting? And once we've done all of those, then we're going to look at the separate elements. So the way that you can do this easiest is just to be in your sphere of compassion, okay, and just imagine a small sphere in front of you and invite them into that sphere, like allow their image to project into that sphere. Or you can imagine a screen and imagine their image projected onto that screen, just so you can witness it. You're the observer. And then what we're doing is we're bringing forward the masculine, and we're asking to see the most wounded aspect of our masculine. What does he look like right now? How is he showing up? And then we're going to ask to see the most exalted, resolved aspect of our masculine. What does he look like? Who are we stepping into? Who do we want to embody? And then the same for your feminine. Who is the inner feminine, the most wounded, toxic, unresolved aspect of your feminine that is seeking now resolution? Needs to be brought to light. I was horrified by what I saw. I was like, oh my goodness, is that really what I think about myself? I was like, no, but I've seen it and I haven't worked with it yet, so I'm ready now. And then the highest version, the resolve version, because we're going to be working with this when we come to the full moon. Okay, so that's the work there. And remember, as I said, that anger has a purpose. It motivates change and requires compassion, forgiveness, and non-judgment in terms of you when you get into an angered state. Because most of us, when we were children, we're told, don't be angry. This isn't acceptable. Be nice. Be good. Right? Let's find out what it's all about. So let's see what these new moon energies are really talking about for us. Where they're saying, let everything go. Just pick these all up. And get going again. Let's tune in together. Okay, so just calling in the energies that we're working with this new moon, solar eclipse in Libra. How can we make the most of these energies and co-create a personal paradise that will allow us to co-create a collective paradise? That's what we're here for, as co-creators of Paradise Earth, as the energizers, the builders, and the architects of the new earth paradigm. Inviting you now just to step forward, highest guidance, and let us know how we can work with these energies to have the most beneficial and profound shift for all. So the heart of the matter. Whoa, despair, the card of despair. Oh, everything's so terrible. Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, I'm just so lonely, desperate, broke, whatever it is. That is the pattern that is ready to shift. So we want to release the frequency of despair from our inner masculine and inner feminine. Despair is not part of the new world reality. Okay. The block to evolving beyond this despair and trusting our highest guidance, even though we can't quite see it in our physical reality yet, is, and this baby's been coming up so much. I'm so excited about this. This is your sacral chakra. This is you being willing to own what you truly desire. So one of the things I realized recently for me, for example, is that I truly desire not to work very much. I love my work, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love doing the work that I do. But at the moment, I have a book to finish that I'm just so excited about doing. And then all these other things just keep coming in, because guess what? It's a form of procrastination, which is a form of self-sabotage. Because actually what happens once that book's finished and I'm publishing it and I'm marketing it, you get what I mean? Life changes massively. Here I am saying to you, I'm retiring from coaching. And that is the reality. It feels very important because I'm here to be a visionary. I'm here to inspire change in others. I'm here to speak the star peace message now. That's the version of me I'm stepping into. Who is the version of you that you're stepping into? And where are you hankering and holding on to old versions of you going, no, I must do this first. I must do this first. I must do this first. I've done it. I could actually walk away. Now, here's the thing. We go, but I put so much effort into this. I can't just let it go. It's like, can you just hand it to source and say, okay, just do whatever is meant to happen with this. I created it for a reason. I now need to focus my energy here. This is where my energy is. This is what I long for. This is what excites me. So really ask yourself that question. What excites me? Dare to dream. Where am I holding on to things that I feel I should keep doing because I've put so much effort into it? I remember a client of mine, despair. Cool, Gemma. Thanks for letting me know. Client of mine telling me, even though she was in an incredibly toxic relationship, that she didn't want to break up with this person because she had a dream of her children growing up in the country that she actually was brought up in herself. And the only way she could get a visa to do that is if she continued to be with the father of her children. And I was like, literally like, are you hearing yourself? You are prepared to stay in a toxic relationship that is really bad for you and therefore a really bad example for your children, so that you can kind of fulfill a dream that you had once upon a time that isn't relevant now because things have changed in the world as well. So things are not the way that they were when you were growing up. And this is it. It's like, we will allow ourselves to go through so much horrendousness just to try and stay true to an old dream. So you've got to let old desires die. Maybe you really wanted something once upon a time, you don't want it anymore. How often have you been in love with someone? I mean, this was really true for me the last time these Libra and Aries eclipse season was going on. You really, really like wanted something to work out with them. And then when it comes up, you're like, oh, I'm kind of over this now. But you feel like you should live it out because you wanted it so much before. Pay attention to that. So the here and now, what we're working with this new moon in Libra solar eclipse is... I love this version of the resolved magical masculine. You know, if you see this guy here, we're working with not worrying about the how. We're going to create these things. So many spiritual teachers talk about, you have to know how. You have to, what's your vision? Then you have to know how, otherwise it can't manifest. Well, if you get too caught up in the how, you block the manifestation process because you insist things have to work out the way that you want them to. Now, there is a difference between co-creating and manifesting. Manifesting means making physical, materializing an intention, a desire, something that's already in the ethers. Co-creating is about, well, which part of you are you manifesting with? Your highest self or your ego self, or some part of you along the way? Because most of us are manifesting, 98% of us, from our solar plexus. We're creating all the time. We're creating from our fears. We're creating from our worry. We're creating from despair. We're creating from our programming. To actually evolve into your heart center and have a desire, have an intention, and then surrender it to the highest good. That's thy will be done, right? But when we think thy will be done means I'm going to give my power away to an external authority, that's when we block that. You are not giving your power away to an external authority when you say, hey, inner magic man, this is what I want, go forth and get it for me. Right. And I find in all my work, I can't be too specific. The moment I start going X amount of money by this time, it just blocks the flow, because actually, how do I know? I think that's what I want. I think that's what I need. But actually, more often than not, that is coming from lack, that kind of specific. Now, if you know your numbers, great. Okay. You want double coming in than going out, triple coming in than going out, 10 times coming in what's going out. But if at the moment you're in minus, 10 times more coming in than going out is just going to seem incredibly impossible. So you've got to believe that what you desire is possible. So in your intention setting, please remember that it has to seem possible. Doesn't matter if it's probable, but it has to seem possible to you that it can materialize. So this inner magic man has tamed the beast, okay? The Black Panther, the shadow. He's got a map under his arm. He knows where he's going. He's got a medicine bag. He's got his hat, and he's walking along his golden path through nature with the fairies, the angels, the beautiful birds of paradise and peace all around him. Will you trust this part of you? I know I will. I know I am. If you're up for it, can I have a yay in the comments, please? Finally, last one. So the resolving the infinite possibilities. Let's see what is coming through here. Ooh, Now, what an amazing partner. Here we have basically what I would say is what we're working towards is our inner masculine and inner feminine. Yay, good, good, good. So whereas this is your inner magic man, I would say this is your inner magic woman. So he's on his golden path, having tamed the beast, got a bird on his shoulder. This one is walking across the bridge. She's gone from her old world. She's on the precipice of the new world. See the way she's facing? She's over the bridge. She's holding a sphere of light. This is her intended co-creation. She's been holding it and nurturing it as that bridge has been building as she steps one forward after another, 1 foot forward after another. Now, most of us, when we're growing into being courageous and confident, courageous basically means feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Confident basically means deeply trusting yourself. Is we end up basically, I'm saying basically a lot. I know in my experience, I've often felt that that has meant to be on the very edge, right? And it's not a sweet edge. It's actually a terrifying edge, the precipice, where I'm going to kind of step off the edge of the land and trust that the next step will reveal itself. And that is one way of going about it. And if that you really are having to go through the valley of the shadow of doubt, it's going to feel like that for sure. But actually, you're going to have a much better experience and align with grace and ease and joy if you're right in the center of your being. And you're not outwardly stretching yourself as far as you possibly can. Now, there's a paradox here, which is when you do embrace change and you're ready to move beyond what you know, you are going to stretch yourself in ways that feel scary, right? You are going to move beyond what you know. You're going to take a risk you haven't before. Maybe you're going to take a loan out and you've never done that before. Maybe you're going to ask a friend for money. Maybe you're going to ask your family. Maybe you're going to put a load of money on a credit card and trust yourself. I know I've done all of these things when I've up-leveled and I've sought something that's outside of my current remit of what's possible. Now, I wasn't making decisions that were going to leave me on the street, I have to say. Every decision I made, I saw that even if things didn't work out the way I wanted to, I'd find a way for it to work out for me. I could see I had assets if I needed to. I had some way of being able to, it might not have happened as fast as I wanted to, but to be able to then honor the promises, the gift that I had made. So when you are creating a new reality, you're doing it from this place of it's already created. And you're going to be far more powerful if you're radiating that energy of already created and then seeing what comes to you. But you need to learn those skills. And to learn those skills, that's what the process of co-creation is about. That's what learning, how to co-create your reality consciously in alignment with your highest good is all about. That's why I created the courses that I did to teach you how to do that, how to work with your conscious mind, your subconscious, and to activate your superconscious. And I have said to my clients many times that, you learn the rules on this level, you become masterful, then you get to the next level, and you're like, whoa, things aren't operating the way that I thought they were going to here. They're not quite the same. So things do change at each level that you go to. All right. And that's, another story and perhaps something we'll cover next week. But this beautiful, beautiful being is basically saying, dare to dream your dreams. She's saying, it's all possible. Okay, it's not necessarily going to happen the way you intend it to or expect, right? But it is going to happen. So let go of the timeline, let go of the, unless there is a pressing human timeline that you have to stick with, let go of the specifics and just get into the frequency of it already having been achieved. So when I say, for example, being in a loving, healthy relationship, what does that feel like? To be in a loving, healthy relationship? If you've never been in one, how do you know? So can you borrow? Have you seen someone that you think is in a loving, healthy relationship? Can you imagine being one of the two, right? Or the three or the four, whatever, right? You have to take your imagination to allow you to help you to see something and experience something you haven't before. Same with any kind of lack consciousness. If you've been feeling sick and unwell for ages, what does it feel like to be healthy? Can you remember the last time you had loads of energy? You might have never had loads of energy, so how can you remember it? But have you seen someone that embodies the energy you wish you had, that looks the way you'd like to look, that has that vibrancy you would love to align with, right? Same with lack and finances. You know, we can think £1 million is going to make us feel safe, but if we don't feel safe with money anyway, it's never going to be enough. We can think that we want X amount a month or whatever, right? But you get your baseline understanding from where you are and where you want to be. The important thing is to remember, what does plenty feel like? Okay, what does plenty feel like? And what would that mean right now for you? Right? Because what it means for you now is going to be different to in a year, to 2 years, to 3 years. It's going to change. So it's about anchoring into having a big enough vision that it's not terrifying, and then also a vision for now that you can step into and feel comfortable embodying. All right. So that's that bit. Let's just see what's coming through in terms of the light language, and then we will say adios. So please just remember, the resolve in the infinite possibilities with this card basically means that you get to cross the bridge. So for any of you who have been practicing any kind of co-creating or manifesting for a while, can you please bear in mind that, what was I going to say on that? It's funny, it's just left me. If something is not working out, like you constantly finding yourself not able to co-create something that you've been intending for a while, you actually have to take yourself to the other side of the bridge. What is it like once you've got that? What are you then facing? Because you're keeping yourself on this side. And you're not letting you're going, when I have that, when that happens, when is that going to happen? Why isn't it happening? How can I? And you're not in the other space of what happens once it's happened. That's very, very important. And again, something we cover. So I'm just going to tune in, see what's coming through the light language. And then we will call it a day, and I will see you in a couple of weeks for the full moon co-creation. So just calling in my star families, the Lyrans, the Sirians, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, calling in Regis, calling in all of the beings of love and light that love to communicate through the frequency of star peace, the frequency of divine grace. Ishtara ia acharanaya sueya, chira ia chacharana kueya. Ustura chichie, hawana siya karanaya kachar. Dear beloved ones, allow your mind to relax. Don't even worry about what this sounds like. Just feel it in your body. Where is it? Where do you feel these sounds? Nushturachi ayaranaya kueya, haranaya kikie haranaya siyawana. Ishtirachichieya ha saranaya kueya. Nihieya aya awana. Ura chichieya. Ishtaraya chia. Kurayaya ueya iya haranaya siya. The remit, my dear friends, for co-creating what you desire is joy, more faith, more trust in yourselves. Can you feel that there is a resonance in your heart? There is a willingness in your heart to step beyond what you know. If you can feel it, just say yes. If you look outward, you see the world is in conflict, in chaos. Tremendous, horrendous, horrible things are happening, and yet they always have been. The light is being shone on the darkness in ways you could not imagine. And in so doing, as we see it outside of us, we can then reflect on the aspects within that are at war. The parts within that are at conflict, that don't want to see eye to eye, that don't want to resolve, that don't want to forgive, that don't want to forget, that don't want to let go of the old story, the old battle. Well, you cannot take those old battle stories with you into your new world. You stay where you are until you drop those stories, until you're willing to evolve beyond them, to let yourself be beyond that you were. Iraya kuraya wanaya ya wanaya suraya ya wanaya ue ya wanaya ki. Nishtiraya chichie ya haranaya ueya. Nishtirachi ya harana asara yeya. Niraya gueya chichie. Ishtara ya chichia wanaya ki. Hiraya aharana sueya awa. In this moment, just receive these codes. Don't worry about anything. Just receive them. Where do you feel them? Breathe them. Nishtirachiya Saraya. We are always with you. We are always, always gifting you that which you desire, that which you long for, that which you wish to experience, but you block us. You push us away. You turn away from the light. You turn towards your shadow. You say, this is who I am. This is what I am. This is what I deserve. This is what I am worthy of. And we say, no, no, you're not. You deserve so much more. Look to the light. And we will say this a million times until you look to the light. We have patience. We have confidence in you. And we have a tremendous sense of humor when you fall down in the dog pit. It's all okay. Are you ready? Are you ready to know what it's like to be in twin flame sacred union with yourself? Again, just allow yourself sacred yes or no. What does your body do? Are you ready to be in sacred union with yourself? Are you ready to ask for what you want? Are you ready to transmit the frequency of unified consciousness? This is just about you saying yes. When you say yes, you decree. You say yes to me. Don't need to control any of it. It's already in motion. We want things to be fantastical, explosive, exciting, tantalizing the mind. And yes, fireworks are lovely. Fireworks are beautiful. They're amazing. They're gorgeous to look at because they are but with us for a short period of time. So your whole life does not need to be a firework display. What we want is to experience the peace that we long for, the fulfillment that we seek, the success that seems to have eluded us. And those moments, those celebration moments are like the fireworks. And yet for the most part, we will just have a beautiful, calm sky. It gets dark, you see the stars, it gets light, the sun shines. Then there are clouds, there is rain, there is wind. The sky is the same. Everything is just experienced on the canvas. There is that infinite potential of all that is. So can you see yourself as that canvas? Can you see yourself as the infinite potential? And decide now what you most want to express next. Shiraya. Shiraya Sue. This is it. That is all. We are complete. We wish you well, beloved ones. We wish you so well. Receive these codes, let them work their magic, and we will see you. We will connect with you now as you prepare to evolve your inner masculine and feminine to their next iteration as we come to the full moon in Taurus in 2 weeks' time. We love you so. Okay, beautiful ones, gently coming back now. Wow, wow, wow. The battles are gone. Hey, Laura, gorgeous to see you. Okay, so there's something that keeps coming through and leaving, and I don't know if you've noticed this yourselves as well. Like, it's like I feel like I've got permanent amnesia as things I don't need to think about anymore go. But basically, to drop an old story means you forget it. It's not just that you constantly seek to forgive it, you forget it. It's not a part of who you are anymore. So if you used to have a pattern of attracting toxic relationships, it's a used to be, it's not who you are. You can't even remember what it was like anymore. You just don't do it. All right. So please do keep an eye out on the socials. We will be announcing what we're doing next week. There'll be an event. It might be 3 days, it might be 1. I'm not sure. I'm playing with this and feeling with what I really want to create, and creating from a place of joy and sharing with you, because this is about us being the authors of a new reality for ourselves and the world. Okay, I'm a systematic being, even though there's a lot of Shakti and a lot of energy around just allowing things to be as they are. We also need structures for the rivers to flow. So when you want to create something new from old, there is a process to follow. And that is what I teach, and I'd be delighted to share it with you. Also, if you haven't yet signed up to our mailing list on RozyGlow.com, the rainbow gems are now our giveaway. And I've been doing little lives every day on my TikTok channel that basically I'm just sharing with you each of the insights. So let's see what today is. Invite your head to follow your heart. Now, this is probably the most powerful lesson for allowing yourself to access these two. All right. Allow your head to follow your heart. So let the mind be the word servant is not a word I really like, but to be a faithful, you might have the words for me with this, but a faithful companion to the heart, and a very, very competent supporter of your heart's intentions. So it's like your mind is this part of you, your heart is this part of you, and this bit just goes off and does what this bit wants, right? There's no conflict there. So that is the invitation. I will do a little live about that today in TikTok at some point. I'm just about to have my hair done, which is lovely. Please, again, remember to tune in. So join the mailing list, RozyGlow.com. If you haven't yet joined Star Peace Consciousness, please head over to starpeaceconsciousness.com. Read the manifesto. Do you align with it? Add your name to it if you do, please. There are all these different ways that we can all participate in the co-creation of Star Peace. The book is imminent in terms of it nearly finished and published. I'm intending to do that before the new year. And then that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few years, is sharing that vision with the world. And I will look forward to connecting with you next week for some very, very powerful shifts. I'm just checking very quickly if there was anything else I had to share. Thank you for the love. Has anyone got any last comments before we go? Let your mind be your soul's biggest cheerleader. Yes, exactly that. Troy, thank you for sharing that. It's exactly that. When you allow yourself to tune into the dial of your mind being a cheerleader for your soul, which you access through your heart, then there's all this positive reinforcement that goes on. Yes, it's happening. Well done. Carry on. Yes, you're on the right path. Yes, 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 you've got this. You're so lovable. What I was going around saying to myself yesterday all day is, you're a really nice person. You're a really kind person. You're a really good person. Do you say that to yourself? You know, sometimes our intentions are not received the way we intend them, but it doesn't mean they weren't pure in how we put them out, right? So let's love up our inner masculine and inner feminine. Let's allow them to become the next iteration. That was it. It's just come through. So if you didn't yet participate in the Sacred Union Masterclass, very powerful masterclass. Okay, that masterclass is still available for you to purchase. You can go to my link tree on IG. Definitely worth doing. Replay if you want to help your inner masculine and feminine to evolve, okay, and to understand what sacred union really means, because once you have it with yourself, much easier to have with the world. I love you. You're amazing. Thanks again for the subscribes. If you would like to work with me, now is the time to get in touch. I've got room for one-to-one client. If you don't know what I do one-to-one, you can go to rosannahannis.com, and that will tell you everything I do. I do 12K VIP days. I do 22K month-long intensives. I do all sorts of different levels that you can then work with me on, whether you want to do something shorter term or longer term. There's one-off sessions. You've got the divine navigation calls for those of you who would like to have some divine navigation. You would like the experience of a one-to-one session with me at a different rate. It's all there for you, okay? Just book a desire mapping call. Let's get going with wherever you're at, and let's help co-create this change, because that is how we're going to do it, by raising our frequency. What it's about. I love you. You are amazing. Take care for now.